Hey, what's going on? It's your Uncle Steve on a Sunday. So it's the Sunday chill here in Atlanta, GA. Hope everyone's doing fine. We're here to talk Atlanta Falcons. Training camp just starting. Good feelings in the air, good vibes going on. And we face that same question every year. I'm here to have it again. Fan excitement versus franchise pessimism. Is it still something that we look at? Let's talk about when we get back. What is going on, everybody, and how you doing? I am your Uncle Steve. Welcome. Excuse me, it's a big burp. Welcome into Uncle Steve's Lounge. Appreciate you joining us here on the Sunday Chill edition. Hope everyone's doing just fine. I mean, now after what? Patrick Mahomes threw that last play into the end zone. Free agency came, left, draft, mini camps. Now it's almost that time. Now you see the training camp crowds come out. The Falcons are literally almost there. NFL football is almost here. Matter of fact, it'll start on Thursday. Hall of Fame game this week. I don't even know who plays. I think Chicago plays. I think they do, if I'm not mistaken. But who cares about Chicago? The Atlanta Falcons are back in business. And we're here for it. And another year where we ask ourselves, folks, is this gonna be the year? And I don't say that as a fan who is tainted, a fan who has gone through these hard times over and over and over again. Let's not pretend that our last 6 seasons have been filled with because they have. It's not a shot, but they have. I think every year, especially the last 3, I've sat here and tried to find ways to make sure that my fandom doesn't sink into a hole of pessimistic thoughts. For example, 2022, I knew when Matt Ryan left the team that we were not going to have the greatest year. I knew that. I knew that wholeheartedly. Yet and still, I tried to pretend like we were going to have this big time bounce out, surprise, shock the world year with Marcus Mariota at quarterback. I did. And I was fooled. I thought somehow we will overcome the odds and end up sneaking into the playoffs in a horrible division. And you know what? Guess what? We almost did. Quite honestly. We almost did in 2022. Fast forward to last year. Last year, baton passed. Our brother Mariota sold out up there in Philly, and we hand off the baton.
I love Desmond.
And really, because our roster was bolstered with probably a little bit more talent than we've had. We brought in Jesse Bates, brought in Calais Campbell to kind of be a leader, and he ended up being the sack leader. Bud Dupree, Caden Ellis, a lot of veteran help we brought in. Filled up the backfield with even more talent in Bijan Robinson. And yet, we still ended up at that proverbial 7-win mark. 7 wins, 5 out of the last 6 years. So I did it again. I started reaching because I'm a fan. That's what I'm supposed to do. I'm supposed to reach. I'm supposed to over-expect. That's what I do. That's what I am. I'm a Falcons fan. No matter what, I'm going to find a way, even if everyone else around me is telling me the worst, I'm going to find a way to find a positive. Marcus Mariota hadn't started the game and found it. Yeah, but he still got athleticism. Desmond Ridder, man, he's the worst. He's probably the worst quarterback. Yeah, but he's 2-0 as a starting quarterback coming into the year last year. But I found a way. I found a way to turn slight pessimism, I'm going to say that right, a pessimistic thought into optimism. I found a way. And boy, 2 games in, you couldn't tell me last year we weren't going to win. But we know how the year ended. And we know how 2022 ended. And 21. And 20. And 19. And 18. Now, we're in 2024, and I'm good on turning the page. Don't get me wrong. I'm not going to sit here and get stuck in the past. I'm gonna turn the page. And I turn the page, and the Falcons do something they haven't done in a while. They pull out the paybook, the paycheck. Insert Kirk Cousins, free agent. Still got some left. A little worried about that Achilles, but still got some left. And all of a sudden, myself and fans are saying to themselves, oh my goodness, we have a quality quarterback in the house. Now what we're going to do. And you have the luxury now of having a very capable quarterback with Bijan Robinson, with Drake London, with the incoming Darnell Mooney, with Kyle Pitts, and with an offensive line that, when they're on the job, can be pretty good. So I have to ask everyone again. It's not just me. I don't think it is. But how do we balance the 2024 Falcons fan excitement against this pessimistic feeling? In other words, will this finally be the year that we make the playoffs after 6 years of futility? And I don't want anybody to misplace anything I'm saying. Dude, I'm going to run through that same wall that I've run through for 40 plus years for this team. That hasn't changed. But what makes my feeling different this year? I know the obvious question. I mean, the obvious answer. Kirk Cousins. How many times over the last 2 years we sat here as fans and said, man, if we just had a half decent quarterback. We don't need Patrick Mahomes. We don't need Lamar Jackson. Oh, I would have loved having him. We don't need Josh Allen. Just give me middle of the road. Well, guess what, Falcons? You went out and got it. Now, I know around March, Kirk Cousins was like one of the top 2 or 3 paid quarterbacks. I guess now he's like number 9 from all the quarterback signings over the last couple of weeks. But you went out and got an above average quarterback. And when I say above average, that's not a knock. I don't think he's elite, but I think he's better than anything we've had in the last 4 years. Yes, that includes Matt's last 2 years. Yes, it does. So I want to ask you, is this finally going to be the year? And tell me why. And if 100 of y'all say Kirk Cousins, that's fine. Kirk Cousins alone, that's fine. I know a lot of people say Raheem Morris. Love his energy. Love the excitement he brings. But I've also been a fan around long enough to know, yeah, sometimes that can only last the season. Tell me the biggest difference. Tell me a big difference between Raheem Morris this year, Dan Quinn pre-2015. It's really not a lot. And Dan took us to a Super Bowl, so I'm not going to hate on Dan. Dan took us to the playoffs. Dan had 3 straight seasons of non-losing years before the bottom fell out. But I do think it makes a little bit of a difference. So I want to hear from y'all. Will this finally be the year, and tell me why? Tell me why. Do we have holes? Absolutely. I'm not as worried about the defense, I think, as other people are. Am I concerned a little bit? Yes, of course. Am I sold on the pass rush thing right now? I don't know. I have to wait and see. I got to see what they look like. I think we went into this last season still thinking we weren't going to get sacks. We ended up getting more sacks last year than we have in 5 years. So I want to see what Jimmy Lake and company have in common. Have up their sleeve. And Zach Robinson, I've heard all these great things about Zach Robinson. Y'all, Zach Robinson, this is his first time being an OC. I'm not saying the lights aren't bright for him, but this is his first time he's going to be calling plays. At least for the NFL. I think he can do it. He's got the personnel to do it. But I have a little pause just to say, okay, before we announce him as offensive coach of the year, offensive OC of the year, let's make sure he knows what to do with Bijan, Drake, Kyle Pitts. Let's see if he can do it. But I want to hear what y'all think about it. And then also, keeping it Sunday, we can talk about anything. I'm going to talk a little bit about Olympic basketball. The Olympic team won today. Kevin Durant coming back to give them stability. Yesterday, we got the news, those of you who are Marvel fans, as I am, Marvel comic book reader for the longest. Robert Downey Jr. will play 2 of the most iconic Marvel characters in history. Now, we know Chris Evans, not in the MCU, but a Marvel character, played Johnny Storm from the Fantastic Four and then turned around, of course, and did his thing as Captain America. Robert Downey Jr. will go from Iron Man to Doctor Doom And you got to say, wow, that's pretty cool. Now, you can't mess this up, Robert. I know he's that great of an actor that I think he'll be able to do it. I think enough people will forget him as Iron Man after the first half of the movie and then accept him as a villain. Oh, I think he can be a great villain. But it got me to thinking, some of the best movie recast that we've had. Actors who've come in and taken over for another actor in a role. And when I say that, sometimes it may not even be the exact character. I'm gonna give you a big example. One of the first things I thought about recast, and it wasn't the same exact character. What they tried to do with Michael J. Fox, with Justin Bateman. Jason Bateman, I should say. Justine, I was thinking about his sister. What they tried to do with Jason Bateman in Teen Wolf, Michael J. Fox, Teen Wolf, and then they tried to go him, and I think he's supposed to be related to him or something. But it was nevertheless somebody who fit, took that character, took that position. So you can put that in there too. Best movie recast. Because I thought that was a big deal. And, of course, now it's going to be Avengers Doomsday. All the fallout from, what's my brother's name? Got in all the trouble. Dating Megan Good. Jonathan Majors. Kane Dynasty was going to be nice, too. But I like this idea. This is going to be real nice. So anyway, that's what we're going to talk about today. And anything else y'all want to talk about, it's Sunday. We can go wherever y'all want to go. I'm here to answer questions, talk, like we normally do on Sunday. Balancing the 2024 fan excitement versus pessimistic thoughts. Will this be the year? And best movie recast. What y'all can think about. Let's shoot over into the comment section. See what everybody is talking about. Brother Ray is in the house. What is going on, brother? How you feeling? Good to see you in the house. Ron Thomas is in here. What's up, Ron? Thanks for having. Good to have y'all in here. Tori, my classmate, 1987, Douglas High School. What's going on, my friend? Jamal D is in the house. What's up, sir? Good to see you, too. My brother Larry, him and Shonda from the Dixon Way are in the house. They just finished celebrating a 9-2 victory. Atlanta Braves finally getting back on track after getting shellacked those first two games from the Mets. Y'all make sure y'all give the Dixon Way a holler, a like, and a sub if you get a chance to on their channel. They do a great job of live content over there. And also, he was at training camp yesterday. So if y'all get a chance to go over to the Dixon Way after you subscribe, go look at the video he did there from the little high school up there. I don't know. Was that Gwinnett County? I don't know what it was. He says, thanks for coming over to the stream, Steve. Like button smash. Thank you so much. Y'all follow in the path of my brother Larry. And please hit that like button for us just to let everybody know what's going on. Appreciate you, man, as always. Jamal says, I'm out here in the oil field for a few months. Headed in for my 12-hour shift. Just wanted to stop by before I lose it. Jamal, I appreciate you as always, brother. You are the man. Thank you for your support as always. Appreciate you, brother. You be safe out there, man. He said,
we're just ordinary QBs.
Jamal just wanted to hear it.
We don't know which way to throw.
Jamal.
Because we're just ordinary QBs.
You going out there for a while, I'll give you one on the house.
Time for us to go. Time to go.
But thank goodness Falcons listened.
I think it's time to go.
when it came to
'Cause we can't throw
the current Arizona quarterback backup.
I think it's
Now we got one half of them still here. So
we can't
y'all
y'all
just don't understand, man. That's to get that high note. That right there for Jamal. Appreciate you, brother, as always. A oldie but goodie. Meals in the house. What's going on, Meals? Good to see you. Say, what's up, Unc? I certainly hope this is the year for that Super Bowl run, but deep down inside, I don't think so. Hopefully, within the next 2 years, we'll have that Super Bowl without a doubt. Meals, I'm kind of on that track that I don't want. Listen, the great thing about 2016 that people can sit here and try to pretend like they want to. Nobody thought we were gonna go on a Super Bowl run. Did we think we had a possible chance at the division? I don't even know if that was honest. I think, remember 2015, folks, that was the year Carolina beat the junk out of everybody. One game away, our game, we beat them. One game away from perfection. Carolina was supposed to run away with the South. And the Saints were still the Saints. They were running into some money issues at the time, but the Saints were still the Saints. But at the same time, Super Bowl run, I'm here for it. But I also am a little realistic to say, listen, I'm so thirsty for winning. I just want to take one step at a time. Give me that win first. Give me this winning season first. Give me that playoff berth first. I'm down with the Super Bowl. I'm down. Give me 9-8. Give me 10-7 in a NFC South championship. Give me 11-6 in a playoff win at the Benz. Give me that. And I'm all for it. And again, I'm not trying to talk anybody off a Super Bowl thought. I'll take that too. But I'll also just say, come on, y'all. Let's get one step at a time. One step at a time. My brother Greg in the house. What's going on? That's Greg from Greg's Custom Kicks. What's up, Unc? Can't wait till people see your design. OMG. And if you want to see that design, we're going to have an unveiling. And that's going to be at the Atlanta Content Creator Meetup. Of course, you guys and gals are all invited. We're going to be at Benchwarmers in Stockbridge, Rock Quarry Road, right off 75, exit 220. What's that? 221, Eagles Landing. We're going to be there for the second preseason game against the Baltimore Ravens. We all just going to sit there and chill out. It's going to be early enough. The game starts at noon. It'll be early enough for you to come, congregate, have a good time, watch some football, and still be done by 2, 3 o'clock. You can go in and do some other stuff on Saturday. But that's what we're going to be, and that's going to be the reveal of Uncle Steve's 2024 version of Greg's Custom Kicks made for me. I can't wait. Y'all come on in and check it out. If y'all want more information, check my page out. Y'all check my brother Big Low Country Sports out, and we'll point you in the direction. Should be a lot of your favorites there. And just come on in and have a good time, man. Even if you can't stay the whole time. Come on in and pop your head in there. Jawan Johnson is in the house. He said, Mike P looking good, though. Let me tell you something, man. And I am not one of those conspiracy theorists that's acting like Michael Penix is going to take over and all this. Not this year. Oh, yeah, but I see that arm. And more importantly, when have we had a chance? When have we had in Atlanta in recent 20 plus years where we've had two solid quarterbacks that if one go down, I can depend on the other. I go all the way back. And yeah, I know people are going to say, Matt Schaub was here for Matt Ryan, but we weren't winning then. I go back to Mike Vick and Matt Schaub. I think that's the last time you had two capable quarterbacks on the roster. I'll go with that. It's exciting. And yes, I understand training camp. I don't want everybody to lose their mind. Shorts and T-shirts are great. They put on the pads, I think, tomorrow. It's going to be – I'm just excited, man. I'm just ready for this thing to kick off. Kenneth Davis in the house. What's up, man? How you doing, brother? Good to see you. Thank you for joining us in Uncle Steve Lounge. Again, if y'all coming into the lounge, we appreciate it on the Sunday chill. Y'all make sure y'all sit down, relax. We're going to do this every Sunday. On game day, we'll do it Sunday at 7. I'll be at the games, at the home games. But at 7 o'clock, we'll come home, chop it up. Juan Solo in the house. That's my brother, man. What's going on, Juan? How you been feeling, brother? Good to have you here. Dwayne Green in the house. What's going on, Dwayne? Thank you for joining us, bro. He said, I've become a fan that is only going to wait and see what they're going to put on the field. I can no longer make any predictions, but I am optimistic. And that's that dilemma Dwayne is talking about, where folks, just because you have a little bit of, I took so much heat the last year for my opinion about Desmond Ridder. I took a lot of heat. And folks were on me. Oh, Steve, you're not a real fan. You're not supporting the team. You're dogging out Desmond. It's like, yeah, I'm not dogging out Desmond. I'm dogging out Desmond's talent. I'm not dogging out the person. The guy wasn't a great quarterback for us. 5 years from now, he might do a Geno Smith. I don't know. But for us, it was hard. Dwayne's an optimist. That's great. I'm probably, for the Falcons, a career pessimistic guy. That doesn't change my fandom. But I am going to be that person that's sitting over in the corner and saying, man, this is deja vu. And it's before anything's happened. I don't want anybody to get fooled. I'm going to be out there. And everybody see, if I'm out there. If I'm at a game, I'm a different person at the game. Probably won't even recognize you. You probably won't even recognize me. Because I'm 100% all in from 1 o'clock to 4:15. Now, once 4:16 happens, you might get a different version. The truth might come out. But I'm yard hard for these Falcons. And I'm hoping they can win. David Stark is in the house. What's going on, brother? How you doing, bro? Good to see you. Thank you for joining us in the lounge. Larry says, RDJ is doomed will be great or fail due to the Russo writing. I'm hoping it could be a huge hit. I think the only thing that concerns me is that I'm sure they had a plan prior to this. Now, again, writers can redirect in a heartbeat. The Kane dynasty was set up great. It was gonna be set up great. Coming off Loki and everything coming into there, and Quantumania. It was setting up to be great. And I'm pretty sure the Spider-Man story, the last one, No Way Home, was all setting up. The multiverse is still gonna be there. But man, you have one of the greatest actors of our recent time take it on one of the most iconic villain roles of all time. And I'm here for the Russos. Russos gave us 2 pretty good Avengers. I'm willing to give them a shot. They are the Coen brothers of the Marvel universe. So I'm willing to give them a little shot. Greg says, I don't know about this new Blade. Wesley Snipes had Blade on lock. Yeah, I know there's a lot of love, as it should be, for Wesley doing the Blade. And look, sometimes recasts don't work. I hope Brother Ali does his thing. But yeah. Yeah, Pierce Bronson as Thomas Crown. I hear you. That's actually a good one too. He did better in that than he was as Bond. He was better in that. Jamal D says, this is the year we get back in the playoffs. I hope so. I hope so. Jamal says, I don't know much more than that. I hope we get further than that. Eric Parker, what's going on, man? Good to see you. Thank you for joining us in the lounge. I appreciate you. Brother Ray says, I think it's playoffs or bust for us this year. Listen, I'm going to tell you what. I think it's close to it because you had opportunity. And I'm not trying to say Bill Belichick is in 2024 is as great as Bill Belichick was in 2014, but you can't deny the pedigree. You can't deny whatever he built up in New England was something that worked. And I was probably willing to give him a chance. But if we look at it very carefully, the Falcons had their pick of the litter. The Falcons had their pick of the litter of who they wanted to get. Now, the only one that I really was kind of thinking about more was Jim Harbaugh. But I think Jim Harbaugh, being a California guy, I kind of figured he was going to end up on the West Coast. But I think it is playoffs or bust for us. No doubt. My brother Corliss, what's going on, Corliss? Good to see you, bro. He said, hey, Steve, winning the South should be the floor. We've got pieces barring injuries. Uh-oh. Don't do it, man. Don't do it. Please don't say that word. Barring injuries, see the Braves in place to do that, to do at least that. I was going to talk about that before. Every year, I don't care what your team is, injuries are going to happen. Somebody for the Falcons, I don't know who, obviously, somebody's going to get hurt. Somebody's going to, before this training camp is over, before the preseason is over, somebody's going to be out for the season. Somebody will. Let's just hope it's not anybody that's integral to our winning. Somebody's going to be out. I hope it's not anybody that we need. Carlo, what's going on, Carlo? He says, we should dominate the divisions and make a few teams nervous. Carlo, not only should we dominate the division, and I don't know if you were here. I think, was that last week or 2 weeks ago? Might have been 2 weeks ago that I hadn't gone on. I went to Louisiana and made my prop bets. Well, not my prop bet, my future bets. And one of the bets was the Falcons going 6-0 in the division. I think they can. My son, who has for the last 5 years, my son has told me, Dad, we're not making the playoffs. Dad, we're not going to the playoffs. Dad, we're not. Even last year, because last year arguably was the most optimistic year the Falcons have had in a long time, even with Desmond Ridder, because of the quality of our division. My son told me last year, he said, Dad, we're going to be 6-11. We're not going to be that good. Now it's like, son, what you talking about? He's a Falcon fan. Son, what you talking about, man? You don't understand. Blah, 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 blah. End of the year, where were we? 7-10. For the first time since 2018, my son has said, we're going to have a winning team. The first time since then. So because of that, I said he must be on to something. So because he said it, and he's been so point on, I'm gonna believe him. We're gonna make it. Jamal said, he said, glad I got to hear it before I was gone. Absolutely, brother. I got you, man. I got you, brother. You enjoy yourself at work. Travis Preston's in the house. What's up, brother Travis? Travis says, hey, Unc, I feel optimistic because we have a capable vet quarterback to navigate out young skill players on the field. Something Mariota and Ritter couldn't do. I see us getting back into the playoffs. And look, Travis knows. Travis knows how we think. I said this a couple of seconds ago. Even with Desmond Ritter, I thought we still had a chance because of the other things on our roster. But it did kind of solidify the point of how important it is to have that signal caller. How important it is to have someone at the most important position in North American sports running your team. That wasn't Marcus Mariota, and it definitely wasn't Desmond Ritter. Now, Desmond Ritter, I blame squarely on the offense coordinator for Pittsburgh because he sold Arthur Blank on those magic beans. What do you think Desmond Ritter's going to say? Nah, I'm not up to it. Go get y'all a veteran. Of course Desmond Ritter is going to, and he said all the right things. Man, can y'all believe it? I'm defending Desmond. Said all the right things, did all the right things. He's probably going to be a good leader. But sometimes what comes out of your mouth might not be as good as your talent. So I do think with a good quarterback, a capable vet, which Kirk Cousins is more than that, that should be a winning season. David says, I'm still in wait-and-see mode with the season. I just have too many questions, though I'm optimistic. How are you gonna argue with David? David, who I know is a fan. David, who I know runs hard for these guys. That's not anything negative. We've been tortured. This franchise has been tortured. 7-10. 7-10. 7-10. 4-12. 7-9. 7-9. That's it. I mean, no. Bobby in the house, what's going on, sir? Good to see you, man. I appreciate you coming in to Uncle Steve's Lounge. Thank you for joining us. He says, I tell you what, bro. If our defensive front seven produces heavily and the rest of the defense somehow becomes a top 12, 15 defense, NFC championship aspirations are heavy for us to acquire. Now, let me take your statement and give you another side of this. I don't think the defense has to be as good as last year. Y'all do realize sans a couple of games at the end where we probably were mentally out of it anyway. We had a pretty decent defense last year. We really did. We weren't letting teams run up and down the field on us that much last year. Yeah, there were a few games. Every team is going to have a game or two. But we don't even have to have a top 12. I go with you middle of the road, maybe 15, 16, something like that. But I'm looking at this roster, y'all. I'm looking at this roster, and before people just throw something at your iPhone or iPad or computer that you're watching, Zach Harrison kind of showed a little bit last year. He was a rookie. David Onyemata held it down after Grady left. Otto Ebiketie, I was in New York. He literally took over that game. The Jets game in the rain. He took over that game. He's on the up. Caden Ellis got a chance to escape New Orleans like David Onyemata did. And both of them flourished. A young Troy Anderson who unfairly, because of injuries, hasn't truly been able to show what he's got. Well, guess what? This year, he'll be able to do that. Zoe is back. Can Zoe just give us a little bit of veterans presence? DeMarco Helms, who a lot of people think he's going to take over that job for Richie Grant. I'm not, and I haven't even mentioned the MVP of the defense last year, Jesse Bates. And the up-and-coming Clark Phillips. I'm still a little concerned about Clark Phillips. I know everybody wants to hurry up and make those Brent Grimes comparisons just because he's under 6 feet. But I need him to probably step his game up a little bit from last year, too. Folks, that's not a horrible defensive unit. And maybe with a different forward-thinking coach, not that Nielsen wasn't. Nielsen squeezed all he could out of these lemons, too, and made a pretty decent defense. I don't know. I'm feeling good about some of the defense that we have here. Do we need more sacks? Maybe. Maybe. But I'm feeling good about it. Dave, what's going on, Dave? I didn't see you in a while, brother. Good to see you in the house. I see Johnny R's in the house. What's going on, brother? He said, I am late to the chat. That is no problem. You're never late. If you're in here now, I appreciate it. Trying to shoot on down here and get some of you folks in here as well. David says, I have Penix Jr. as the 25 week 1 starter. That'll depend on what we do in this year. I think if Kirk Cousins goes anywhere over 10 wins or over, there's no way. Winston in the house. What's going on, brother Winston? He's from the eye test. Him and brother John Harris hold it down, doing that thing. Johnny, I appreciate you, brother. Thank you for telling everybody to hit that like button. Y'all remember to do that for me, man. I appreciate it. That one Falcon fan is in the house. What's good, brother? Had a rainy day at work today. Yeah, man, it's nasty out there the last couple of days. Y'all stay safe and stay dry if you can. He said, glad to be back in here. I just dropped my first hype video on my first show. Okay, I got to check that out, man. Y'all make sure y'all shoot over to that one Falcon fan. I got to see. I'm all for the hype. I'm all for the hype videos. All for it. Oh, we got a classmate alert in the house. Lisa Shepard from Blog and Dirty is in the house. Y'all make sure y'all check her out. She does some good articles for those cats over there. Appreciate you coming in, Lisa. Thank you for checking in. Larry says, I wish I could come, but I looked at the schedule and I have 2 games that day, the Falcons and the Braves. No, brother, you got to do what you got to do, man. Y'all, again, y'all not going to get better live reaction. If y'all not at Bench Warmers, y'all make sure y'all checking out the Dixon Way. Like he said, he's going to have a busy day that day. Yeah, you got to do your thing, brother. Jimmy Hall's in the house. Y'all talking about Jimmy. I passed the test that I need to pass this week. Jimmy Hall, what's going on, my friend? Congratulations to you, brother, and all the endeavors you've been going through. Know you were doing your thing. And Demetrius DJ is in the house. What's going on, brother? Thank you for joining us again on Uncle Steve's Lounge. A lot of y'all coming in here again. I want to reset what we're talking about. Got 2 different topics and anything else y'all want to talk about. It doesn't matter. Balancing the 2024 Falcons fan excitement versus the annual franchise pessimistic views. And I know a lot of y'all and for coming in here with optimistic minds. So that's great. That's what we need. Absolutely. And in lieu of just finding out yesterday that brother Robert Downey Jr. is going to be taking over as Doctor Doom in the MCU, best movie recast. Best movie recast. It's pretty good. Pretty good stuff. Somebody mentioned Blade. Yeah, that's going to be interesting. Superman, over and over again. That's, hey. That one Falcon fan says, regarding this season, anything below 500, 9-8, but missed playoffs will be a disappointment. I agree. The cupboard is full for Raheem Morris. I love his energy. I love his passion. He can't come in here like Dan Quinn did in 15. The cupboard is more full in 24 than it was in 15 for Dan Quinn. Raheem's got to come through. And folks, Terry Fontenot, love Terry Fontenot. They don't have a winning record. It's going to be an interesting offseason for him. That one Falcon fan also says, this is our year. Our offense is going to be top 10, while our defense is top 15, which is not too shabby when you look at it. And that's exactly what I'm talking about. If the this is okay, I'm going to do this real quick. And I'm going to see if I can go back to the Atlanta Falcons last year. I'm going to go back to the Atlanta Falcons. And this is before I'm looking at it, folks. Give the Falcons one touchdown more. And let's see what our fate would have been in these games. I'm going back. Here we go. And I'm going to share this so y'all don't think I'm making up stuff. Okay, so the Atlanta Falcons, all last year, this is from Pro Football Reference, in case y'all didn't know. One touchdown. So obviously, I'm not going to talk about the wins because we won those. Detroit. Now, I'll say Detroit, even though we lost that game by more than one touchdown, they scored that last touchdown in the last fourth quarter. One more touchdown that game. Washington Commanders, one more touchdown. Different outcome. Tennessee Titans, one more touchdown. Different outcome. Minnesota Vikings, one more touchdown. Different outcome. Arizona Cardinals, one more touchdown. Different outcome. Carolina Panthers, I don't even want to talk about that miserable game. Now, the last two games of the year were garbage. So, as much as I don't mind the talk about the top 10 defense, give me an offense that can score more than 20 points, man. Give me that offense. We just didn't have that. We really didn't. We didn't have a really high-powered offense. We need to look at that. Bobby says, I know I've mentioned routes to defensive success, but are our offense looking that good, or is the defense actually suspect? Well, look, I think the offense is going to be in a good position because I think you had those core players last year on this team. Zach Robinson's job is not going to be difficult. We have the tools to put up 28, 30 points a game. I think now that we have the quarterback throw the ball, I think we're in great shape. I think the defense last year, I think they showed up. I'm looking at the first few games that we just finished talking about. We gave up 10 against Carolina, 24 against Green Bay in wins. We gave up 20 in a loss, 23 in a loss. The Commanders, 24 in a loss. Tennessee, 28 in a loss. Okay, that was it. Minnesota, 31 in a loss. Arizona, 25 in a loss. So when I look at the 30-point gains from the opponents last year, I see one in Minnesota, and then the last 2 games of the year, again, Chicago and New Orleans, we were already out. I think their mentality is, you know, I think they were pretty much checked out. Atlanta Falcons pandemic in the house. What's going on, brother? He said your son's a smart man. Well, I was trying to tell people, man, look, my son Tyler, he calls most of this stuff now. He's more of a sports guy than I don't know. I was the sports guy like that growing up, but I don't know what it is. He seems to be so much smarter than me in that regard. Good to see you, man. Y'all make sure y'all check out Atlanta Falcons Pandemic. He's got a YouTube page. Y'all make sure y'all go hit a subscribe for me over there for him, man. Taking care of his business, man. Appreciate you stopping in, my friend. Antonio James is in here. What's going on, Antonio? He said, what's up, RIP to chat with Bozeman, but did they really drop the ball killing off T'Challa in Black Panther 2 and instead of recasting the role? I agree with you a little bit. Now, there was, if you read Marvel Comics back in the day, Shuri was the Black Panther for a while in those comics. So that wasn't a stretch. A lot of people were, oh, how did you do that? And blah, 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 blah. So she was. But I kind of agree with you. I would have loved to see them recast that role. Michael Washington, Denzel's son. I don't know. I'm trying to think some of the younger Black actors these days, and which lets you know I'm probably not as up on a lot of movies, but yeah. T. Terry in the house. What's going on, sir? He said Kirk might be playing more than 2 years. Listen, let me tell you something. If he wins, he's gonna be here. And look, I would love to have that type of decision. Kirk Cousins is doing so well. What do we do with Michael Penix? We're very premature for that, but that's a good argument to have because that would mean Kirk Cousins is doing what he's supposed to do. Now, if we come out this year and Kirk Cousins is doo-doo, and then we gotta move to Michael Penix. Yeah, it's a whole different story. My man Larry said,
I love that.
oh boy, that is some good stuff. Y'all are crazy. Bobby says, if we ever get that Grits Blitz defense squad back at any point, it's over. Super Bowl aspirations, forget everything else. It's a young squad, man. I'm not trying to tell you the guys that are on that squad now are Grits Blitz tights, but that was a pretty young squad too. I would love to see what Jimmy Lake is going to do with these young guys. Everybody is very, when it comes to the defensive guys, we think about it. We kind of had the same roster sans Jesse Bates. And, well, I can't say the same roster. We had Caden and Amanyama. But we ended up with a pretty good defense last year, too, for most of the year. Grits Blitz would be nice, competent, middle of the road. I think that's good enough, too. Dave said, I think it's natural for everyone to wait and see. In the meantime, there are conversations to be had while we wait. Absolutely. Absolutely. Many conversations. I think we're going to be fine, though. I think we're going to have a winning record. I think we're going to win the South. Anything else after that is gravy. I'm just looking at the division, and I'm still not a huge believer in Derek Carr, no matter what he did that last game against us. The first time we saw Derek Carr was probably more of what I thought he was. Baker Mayfield, I'm sorry. I understand a great reclamation project last year for Tampa Bay. They caught him at the right time. He got his money. He got his bag. I'm still not a believer in Baker Mayfield. Bryce Young is just, I don't know. Maybe another year. Maybe he'll look a little bit better. But the Carolina roster, man, they've gutted their roster. Got rid of the best defensive guy they had. With apologies to J.C. Horn. But Brian Burns, that was the heart and soul of that line. They got some big boys. Big boy Brown is still there. But their roster is pretty suspect. Larry says, guys, do you see how the Falcons are talking about Penix in camp compared to Desmond? Right. The Desmond has learned the playbook faster than any rookie to Penix has a catted arm and makes all the throws. Listen, I'm trying. We created Desmond Ridder. We, the fans, the Falcons media, the Falcons local media, they created a thought of Desmond that really wasn't there. There's a reason he was at Cincinnati and not at Clemson. There's a reason he couldn't overtake Mariota earlier in the season than he did in the last 4 games. There's a reason, and we found out. Michael Penix is a talented quarterback. They had folks saying, even over Caleb Williams, that Michael Penix might be the best overall quarterback prospect that came out of the draft. Yes, they did. And I'll tell you this. Michael Penix has a better showing against Michigan. Michael Penix is top 3 draft pick. If he has a better showing in that national championship game, because if y'all remember the hype before the game, oh man, Michael Penix, his stock is rising. Then he got beat by Michigan. All of a sudden, he was a possible 2nd and 3rd round quarterback. I hope he shows out all preseason. Is that he has too slow. No, that has to slow down for Penix. Yeah, Penix is gonna be fine, man. Give him this nice year. Give him a shot. He's gonna be fine. Jabri, what's going on, brother? Good to see you in the house. Thank you for joining us in Uncle Steve's Lounge. Appreciate you. You and my brother Matt Town Dirty is in here as well. Thank y'all for joining us on Uncle Steve's Lounge, man. I appreciate it, man. It's the Sunday chill. That's what we do on Sundays. We chill. I know I do. And we talk Falcons football. We'll be talking a lot more coming up. I can't wait. Y'all tell your friends. Stop on into the lounge. If you haven't subscribed already, go ahead and subscribe, man. I appreciate it. Brill says, yep, top 16 or 17 is good. Said our linebacker core is deep. We got some decisions, man. Nate Landman is right now on the depth chart. They got Troy Anderson over Nate Landman. Nate Landman might have been near the middle of our season. Nate Landman might have been our best defensive player next to Jesse. That's how good he was playing at one time. But now you got some. Now you have Caden Ellis, Troy Anderson, Nate Landman, J.D. Bertrand. I mean, there is a chance that, we're going to have some decisions to make, which is a good thing. Larry says Troy Anderson got a pick in Penix yesterday. Now, I will say this. They were talking. Was that the day before, Larry? They said Cousins threw a pick to Troy Anderson, too. I heard them talking about it on 92.9. And they were saying that Troy Anderson got to pick on him, so you got to pick on both of them. Okay. Again, t-shirts and shorts. So I'm kind of, I want to put it for what it is. But still, he said Clark got to pick too. Okay. I carry that into the game. Carry that into the season. That's what I want them to do. Dave says, I don't know about that. This is an entirely different scheme. The better the defense, the more possessions for the offense. Jesse was the only guy taking the ball away. That has changed. Listen to what I'm saying, Dave. I'm not telling you. Think about, okay. Stay with me. Zach Robinson, Arnold Elbicchetti, Troy Anderson, Nate Landman, Clark Phillips. All those guys are going to have one more year under their belt. Add in the fact that we still have Rook Orururu. We still got Taquan Graham, Braylon Trice. All these young minds and young athletes that are going to be on this team. Am I telling you that all of them are going to have fantastic years and peak out? No, I'm not telling you that. But the guys aside of the rookies are 1 year smarter, 1 year where the game is slowed down for them. Who's to say Zach Harrison isn't going to be the guy he was at Ohio State? Who's to say Braylon Trice, who was really good at Washington, if you watched any Washington games like I did, Braylon Trice was actually pretty good. Who's to say those guys won't be pretty solid? I know it's a different scheme, but sometimes you got to let those guys play. And maybe Jimmy Lake will let them play. I don't know. You might be right, but we'll see. Travis says, our defense wasn't the issue last year. That's why I can be optimistic this year. With capable quarterback play last year, we could have been in the playoffs. Offense couldn't stay on the field. You right with me? Had an awful offense. For all for the weapons we had, and guess what? We got more this year. I think we're going to be better. Mike Culver in the house. What's going on, man? Hope things are treating you well down there off 85, doing your thing. Demetra says Larry's commentary is top notch. Larry, I like an excited Larry though. I like a ticked off Larry. When Larry get mad at a play, there's nothing funnier than watching the Braves either give up a home run or something like that. I like emotional Larry. Play-by-play Larry is great too, but ain't nothing like seeing him get excited, boy. That's some funny stuff. Jimmy Hall says, best movie recast was Joker. Heath Ledger was the best Joker to me, and I love Jack Nicholson. I think that is so spot on because if y'all remember, it was a big, gigantic push for the first Batman. If y'all remember in the first Batman, Jack Nicholson was really the biggest actor in that movie. Michael Keaton, it was Michael Keaton. But when that movie came on, they showed Jack Nicholson's name first. And he did a great job. Heath Ledger was next level. I have seen no one do a better job than Heath Ledger. Jared Leto, Joaquin Phoenix, I know he got the award. I mean, he was good, but nobody will top Heath Ledger's Joker. Vincent Hayes, what's going on, sir? Good to see you. Thank you for joining us in the lounge. He said, what's good, huh? Ready to see how this defense will look under pressure. I know. We play some pretty decent offenses too. We got a world champs. Gonna have Jalen Hurts week 2. Got Dallas. Dallas's defense is still, their offense is still pretty decent. Jabri says, if we miss the playoffs, that's a disappointment for sure. It is. After all those, huge disappointment. Henry in the house. What's going on, brother? Good to see you. Thank you for joining us. Says, happy Sunday, Uncle Steve and Falcons fans. Now is the time for the Falcons. The only real threat for the Falcons are the Buccaneers. I guess. Yeah, in the South, I guess. I still think we could beat up on them too, though. Demetrius says Joaquin Phoenix played the great role. Yeah. He's better than the Jared Leto one in the Suicide Squad stuff. All he did was hiss. I was like, what is that? What was that? I didn't even. Oh, man. Here it said the offense should not turn the ball over as much this season. The defense should get enough rest for the whole game without being exhausted. Amen. You got a two-headed monster. And look, this is going to probably be the last year of Tyler Algier. Telling y'all right now. No way they're going to let Tyler Algier stay here unless they re-sign him to a very friendly deal. And that's why they got Jace McClellan. See what he can do. Jace McClellan has a really good camp and feels in really good during the year sometimes. They'll let go of Tyler Algier. Because Tyler going to try to get paid. He's got a 1,000-yard season under his belt, too. Remember that. Demetrius says, the game we lost to the Chicago Bears 37-17 was a horrible, especially the loss happening on my back. Oh, man, I didn't know that. But you know what it was, Demetrius? Honestly, I think, and I know the Falcons did a decent job rebounding on New Year's Eve against the Indianapolis Colts. I give them a lot of credit. That Carolina game, we lost, sapped so much out of them because they had an opportunity to tie for the conference lead. And when they lost that game to Carolina, I mean, that was, I think the Colts were just reeling like we were. That was just good timing. That Carolina game, I think that zapped everybody's energy. That just zapped everybody. The season was basically over. No excuse, but the season was over then. And that Chicago game, that was embarrassing. That was when it snowed too, right? Yeah. Therese says, I agree we score at least 28 points a game. No excuses. Absolutely. Jack Doe in the house. What's going on, brother? For everybody, y'all give Jack Doe all the football hate in the world. We play his team first game of the year. We play the Pittsburgh Justin Fields at the beginning of the year. Steelers ain't hitting enough. If we don't win that Steelers game by at least 10, 15 points, I'm going to be mad. Side of TJ Watt, they really going to be struggling. Jabri says, Kurt only being here for 2 years. Yeah, it might be. It might be 2 years. Raphael, what's going on, man? Good to see you in the house. What's going on? He said, Uncle Steve Pop said, let him finish. Oh, man. Yeah. Raphael, he's talking about my brothers, man, Travis, their pops and the Henry brothers, they put on a really good podcast. It's them and their dad. Their dad is over the top, 100% run through the wall Dallas Cowboy fan. And sometimes, just sometimes, it's kind of hard getting the word in with him. So that's what he's referring to. I tried to talk the other day, man. He would not let me in. So God bless him though. But they put on an awesome podcast. So if y'all see them on Facebook or y'all see them on YouTube, Pops and the Henry brothers, y'all make sure y'all give them a sub because the brothers they pretty cool and they gave me a lot of love over the years. So y'all make sure y'all give them some love. Pop said he ain't gonna let me talk. He ain't gonna do it. Atlanta Falcons pandemic says Terry Fontenot has these coaches set for success. He's given them everything they need to do. They need to succeed. Even a new locker room. Yeah, I heard about the locker room as well. Now he's giving it to him. He's giving it to him. So to your point, Raw and company got to come through. All the excitement, all the funny, all the fan interaction, all of that goes out the window if you're 7-10 again. Trust me. And I love Raheem Morris as a personality and all of that. He's really good. But I need more than that. I need wins. I need a playoff berth. I just need a quality team this year. Jabril said Derek broke down car. Y'all are no good, man. Jabril said he want to hear it one time for the house.
I love Desmond.
Hey man, he gonna mess around and Desmond gonna end up playing this year. Backtown Dirty says, so I'm guessing you and Big Low have been off with Julio doing big real estate deals abroad. Anywho, welcome back. We missed you. Hey man, we just, I just quite honestly, I had a schedule change. So my schedule changed a little bit at work. But now that we're going to go into the football season, trust me, we're going to be on a lot more. And with the preseason games coming on, we're going to be obviously talking more Falcons, which is quite honestly the best thing in the world to talk Falcons and NFL football. I can't wait. Atlanta Falcons pandemic says, yes, this is perfect. Hard position for Coach Raheem. Absolutely. Jack Doe says, is Kirk truly healed? He is older. Here's the problem. Here's the great thing about that. If this situation would have happened 2 years ago and you looked on the bench and I saw Taylor Heineke or somebody like that, that'd be cool. If Kirk's not ready, then we got to take a little bit more chance with a talented quarterback in Michael Penix Jr. I like that better than anything. I like that scenario. We're in a much better place than we've been in years. As I told everybody, I think the last time we've been in a place where we've had two potentially really good quarterbacks at the same time when Mike Vick and Matt Schaub was here. And I know Matt Schaub, but everybody want to remind me, I know he backed up Matt Ryan 1 year or two. But those 2 years were losing years, if we remember. Winston says Nate is a starter. He green dotted. Only time Ellis is green dotted is if he's on the field with Anderson and Landman is on the bench. Hey, jump the gun, Winston. I don't care if he green dotted or not. They got right now Troy Anderson as a slot. That could change next week. That could change the week after. Goodness gracious. Atlanta Pandemic says offense couldn't stay on the field. This is why Kurt is the perfect man for the job, and we got him cheap. Yeah, look, it's so funny because in March, everybody would have said, man, $40 million, they paid Kirk Cousins. And now you're looking back at it and you say, man, we got a deal. Especially if we happen to cut bait after 2 years or find a team that will trade for him as Michael Penix develops, we'll be in good shape. Brother Mark Cheney's in the house, man. What is going on, Mark? Mark been all over the place, man. Every time I see Mark, Mark is on this, is on that. Y'all make sure y'all give him a sub on his channel. Mark has been doing his thing. Much success to you, young brother. He said, "No, Mad Larry is hilarious." That's what I'm saying. When Larry be getting mad, that's some of the funniest stuff on the internet. Atlanta Falcons pandemic said first 4 games is a tell-all. If Cousins start out as he's always done throughout his career, we're in outstanding shape. Here's the thing. It's 3 different seasons in here. I'm going to the schedule. It's 3 different parts of the season, 3 distinct parts of this season. There's the first 3 games, 2 at home. Pittsburgh, Kansas City, Philadelphia. By far the hardest part of our schedule. And it's early when those teams are getting to know each other too. I don't even think Pittsburgh's as good as they were last year. But I still think it's good to catch them now. Then you got the second part of the season, which is really going all the way to the bye to me. New Orleans, Tampa, Carolina, Seattle, Tampa, Dallas, New Orleans, Denver. 5 division games out of, what did I say? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 5 of the next 8 games after the first 3 are division. That's the second part of the season. You must succeed in that second part of the season. And then it's the end of the year, which again, we don't know what teams are going to turn out to be. But if we're starting right now, Chargers, Minnesota, Vegas, New York, Washington, Carolina. Not exactly the scariest schedule in the world. Again, just forecasting. But that part of the season should be doable. We should be able to do this, folks. Starting off 2-1 is going to be a huge step. If we could sneak a win against I think we have a better chance of sneaking a win against Kansas City here on Sunday night than we do at Philly. I think we just don't do well with Philly in Philly. We just don't. Some things I've just been resigned to just accept. We don't do well against Philadelphia in Philly. It's been a long time since we won there. Jabril says, I was at the Carolina game on front row getting drenched. Don't remind me. Yeah, we were me and Big Low, Jack Spade for one time for the fan, JR from the Pound for Pound. We were all up watching that game together. And that was some heartbreak. A1 Forever in the house. What's going on, Chris? Y'all make sure. I was trying to get the applause for you, man. Goodness gracious. Couldn't get the applause button out for you, Chris. Y'all make sure y'all check out A1 Forever, part of the 95 North Sports Machine with our brother Berto and Smitty in the house. But A1 Forever does his own thing. Y'all make sure y'all sub to his channel doing his stuff. What's going on, bro? Atlanta Falcons pandemic said Pop and the Henry Brothers are hilarious. I follow them on the other channel too. I'm gonna tell you, man, they've been like that the whole time, man. Dude, they always interact like that. And when I got on the show the other day, I knew there was gonna be little chance of me getting in because between the 3 of them, it's gonna be hard, man. It's super entertaining though if y'all just want to hear 3 people fuss. If you just want to hear 3 people fuss about football, it's your show. If you want to get on there and try to Get in between the conversation. It might not be yours. And I say that respectfully because it's a good show. I just laugh because I knew trying to get on there, I wasn't going to get a chance to get a word in, but I tried. Henry said, I saw the show a few days ago with the Cowboys fan. That guy kept going. I really hope the Falcons beat them this year. I'm the same way, man. Henry, I promise you, I was trying to get in, and then when I finally did get in, I was like, you know what? Let me give a parting thing because I know after I talked, I wasn't going to get a chance to get in. But I still want y'all to subscribe because it's funny stuff. Them guys, and they know their football. Pops talk a lot of junk about his Cowboys, but he know his Cowboys. And that's for sure. Bobby said, heard a lot of silly rumblings regarding Michael Parsons' pickup. Unless we cut 27 players, we don't have the cash for that move, do we? Nah. Listen, the Falcon fan, I've heard Falcons fans talk about Brandon Ayuk. I've heard Falcon fans talk about Hassan Reddick. I've heard people talk about Michael Parsons. Here's the key thing in all those situations. All of those players that they keep talking about going to get traded, they're being traded because they're not getting paid. What makes you think for 1 second a team that, aside of Kirk Cousins and Darnell Mooney, really didn't sign anybody else of big ilk? Now, we signed people, but no one big money. What makes you think we're going to sign Hassan Reddick, who's probably going to be looking for somewhere over 17 to $18 million? What makes people think that Brandon Ayuk, when you see receivers getting $25+ million a year, what makes anybody think that we're going to get Brandon Ayuk? And then going to Bobby's thing when he's talking about Micah Parsons. Micah Parsons, who might be one of the most productive defensive players, disruptive defensive players in the last 3 to 4 years. Y'all think he gonna come here and play for the Falcons? Falcons don't even have the money for that. So, yeah, to your point, it's kind of all fantasy, bro. It really is. It really is. But it's nice to dream. Jabril says in Philly will be the toughest game. Oh yeah, that's what I'm saying. When you look at this schedule for the Falcons, let's look together real quick. And I know we're gonna keep going back. This is on the ESPN site. Let me bring it up. Let me bring it up a little closer because I know Lord knows I can't see. So I'll try to see if I can make that bigger or more. There we go. So look at this schedule. I mean, I'm gonna take my other banner off. I'm sorry, I was trying to get that so y'all can see. If you look at this schedule, I said it and I'll say it again. The toughest part of the schedule is game 1, 2, and 3. Pittsburgh, Philly, Kansas City. I argue that's the toughest stretch of the season, and it's the first 3 games. If we can sneak 2-1 out of that, look at the rest of your schedule. Look at it for real now. Take that off. New Orleans, Tampa, Carolina, Seattle, Tampa, Dallas, New Orleans, Denver. I'm not saying we run the table, but this is not a daunting schedule. New Orleans, no fear. Tampa, no fear. Carolina, if we're fearing, we're crazy. Seattle, here. Dallas, here. Dallas doesn't do good on the road. No cupcake here. And then we go to Denver, but Denver is in rebuild mode. And then it slide down to the last part of the season, folks. Chargers, I think Herbert is going to make them better. I'm not sure if they're an elite AFC team, but he's going to make them better than they were last year. Minnesota, still got Justin Jefferson, but who's going to throw to him? Sam Darnold? Vegas, They could beat Kansas City, but can they beat anybody else? Antonio Pierce, that's a great story. I hope he backs it up. New York Giants, who just got rid of Saquon. Washington Commanders. I don't even need to say anything. Carolina. Contrast the first three games. First three games, Pittsburgh, Philly, Kansas City. Last three games, New York, Washington, Carolina. Man, if that's not a setup for the Falcons, I don't know what it is. That's a total setup. Oh, we got a super chat in the house. In here. That's our brother. I know that I'm carrying on. Never mind if I'm showing on. You're on with Uncle. We'll read the super chat. Know that I'm carrying on. Never mind if I'm showing on. You know we're doing. We'll read your super chat. Oh! From the ever jealous voice of Big Low Country Sports. Is in the house. Y'all make sure y'all check out my brother Big Low Country Sports. Always here for what's going on, man? What in the world, Bo? Could you please do my super chat live? I don't want it free. Hey, man. Hey, I just gave you that, man. I just gave you that one as simple, man. Matter of fact, I'll give you one more just cause you big Mo. Gonna be here for long. You know I read a super chat. Girl, you got I asked Big Low to help me. Uncle Steve will read turned me down right now, baby. He wanted to get in there and do that. Y'all check out my brother Big Low Country Sports, man, in the house as always. T. Terry says Pitts has gotten bigger and fast. Who's gonna stop this machine? I don't see anybody. I really don't. Again, it might be one of those first three teams, but that's it. That's it. I don't see it. I don't. Henry said, if the Falcons can beat both Kansas City and Philadelphia, that should put people on notice. Man, if they get that first two, if they can win those two games and go 2-0, then we might be in for a really nice season. Sans injury. If we can get those first two. Y'all don't forget, as y'all in here, make sure you hit that like button for your whether you're on Facebook, whether you're on YouTube. Y'all hit it for me. I appreciate it. Greg says, I also hear chat about a Miles Morales film in the works. Jaden Smith was spoken for the role, but we know cast changed a lot. But script for Miles Morales not animated in the works. You know, I was hearing that he might be the reason we're talking about this, y'all. One of the other subjects we were talking about was best movie recast. If they were talking about him possibly being in, get ready for it, the Secret Wars for Avengers. Don't be surprised if you see Miles Morales come to life in the MCU. So that would be a very interesting concept that we got him in there. Absolutely. Matt Town says, I'm trying to remember if I ever seen London catch a pass in full stride. Got a feeling this year is going to be refreshing, man. Dude, it's so crazy. If you can put these passes where these guys can catch and run in stride, bro, it's going to be nice. It's going to be real nice. Jabril says, Cowboys and KC, the next toughest games. I agree. Mill says, I agree, Steve. If we can get 2 of the first 3 games, we'll be okay. Absolutely. Said, misheard the quarterback for the Raiders. Don't scare me towards the end of the season. It's a cakewalk. Yeah, that's a Monday night game. I'll be there. I'll be there big time in there. No big low will be there. I'm sure a lot of y'all will be in there. Oh, big time, man. Um, Phil, Philip says Prescott. Yeah, Prescott is nice. I mean, Prescott. I got to give Prescott his due, man. He's been one of the more productive quarterbacks. Uh, Prescott reminds me a little bit of Matt Ryan during that little run of the 5 decent years. He was a great regular season quarterback. I say great, that's strong. Very good regular season quarterback, but you got to finish the job in the playoffs. And until Prescott does that, he's going to be criticized as he should. Brother Frank is in the house. What's going on, man? How you doing, bro? He said, "What's good, bro? Can't wait for the season to start." I know, man. We all are hyped. We all are ready to get this stuff started. We got a little taste of the training camp. We got a little taste of preseason coming up. We got the Hall of Fame game coming up on Thursday. Yeah, let me double check that. I'm pretty sure it's Thursday. That's coming up. Schedule. And I'm pretty sure it's Chicago. Yeah. Houston versus Chicago this Thursday for the Hall of Fame game. So we are more than ready for that, my friend. That one Falcon fan said, predict these: first touchdown, first sack, first intercept. Oh, that's real good stuff. Falcons first touchdown, Bijan Robinson. First sack, Caden Ellis. First interception. I'm going to throw you for a loop on this one. Richie Grant. People going to be mad at me. Richie Grant going to be starting on this team, y'all. Y'all been here. Have y'all been listening to Raheem? Richie Grant going to start on this team. All right, go back and look. Go back and listen. I'm not trying to tell you he's all pro, all star, all that. Richie Grant will be starting safety on this team. All you got to do is go back and listen to Raheem. Jabril says Prescott, good regular season, but in the playoffs, it's playoffs. Playoffs? You mean to tell me the Cowgirls in the playoffs? They're probably going to make it, man. Cowboys are probably going to make the playoffs. Right now, I'm going to give a quick. I'm trying to go to the league. Golly, I had it a second ago. NFL standings. Here we go. Right now for the NFC, I got to make it smaller. This is what I think is going to happen in the NFC right now. Atlanta Falcons will win the South, no doubt. The West is going to give us San Francisco. I'm sorry. I know the Rams are doing their thing, but Frisco. The North goes through Detroit. I think Detroit, they got a young team, and I think they're pretty good. And I think the East, man, I think Philly's going back on top this year. I think that was a hiccup. Jalen Hurts. I think Philly goes back on top. My wild card teams this year, I like the Rams. I like Dallas. And I think I like Green Bay. So really, the only flip I see is probably Atlanta winning the South. I think everybody else is probably going to kind of stay the same. I'm going to tell you, I would not be shocked if Chicago is on the cusp, and I would not be shocked. Wait for it. If Arizona is on the cusp, would not be shocked. None of them. Mark says football is back. Yes, it is. Big Low says he can't wait. Slim Dollar in the house. What's going on, brother? Good to see you, bro. How are you and the family? I hope all is well. All is well here too, man. I hope everything is well for you and everything. Yeah, I got to talk. Yeah, Big Low. Big news for him, man. Cuzzo is you Tennessee ball. Good old Rocky Top, Tennessee. My sister is a proud Tennessee ball, so she'll be very happy to hear that news. Henry says the Falcons can get 10 or more wins, 10 or more games this season. They can. I think the one thing I'll always do, Henry, not only, we all play the game of go down the schedule and see what they're going to win. You got to count. I always do 2 games you should win and 2 games you should, let me say it. 2 games that you should win but won't, and 2 games you should lose but won't. And I think the Falcons, if you're going to tell me right now for the Falcons and talking about their schedule, I'm trying to go to the Falcons right now. Dog it. We're going to win 2 of the 3 games to start the year. I'm still betting it's going to be Kansas City and Pittsburgh. I just do not see the Falcons going up to Philly winning that game. They just don't. They haven't done that in years. I don't. But I see them beating Kansas City here. And I ain't gonna lie to y'all. I'm on my phone. My hands and my phone. I'm a Mahomes fan. That's what I was trying to say. I'm a Mahomes fan, but I think it's early. I can see them coming in here and Kirk Cousins doing this thing. Philip says, should we trade for Parsons? If so, where would that take us? It would be illogical for me to, if you just ask me, should we trade for him? The obvious question would be yes, if he's available. The reality, non-magic bean, non-pixie dust answer is no, because we're going to have to give up way too much. A team that's already losing, 1 pick next year. I just, yeah. And plus, he's going to want to get paid, Philip. Not that we should be stingy with money, but I just don't know if Atlanta is his team. I don't know. I see him going to Washington and playing for Dan Quinn. Dan Quinn unlocked the stuff for him. Jabri says, I see Seahawks going first in the West this year for the curveball. Something tells me 49ers, Christian McCaffrey gets hurt since he's on the Madden cover. I don't know. Seattle is nice. I just think, I think they had a nice run. I don't know. Jabri says, I see the Falcons losing to Washington, a team we should be. Man, don't say that. We lost the last 3 years. We've lost to Washington when we had no business. One, when Taylor Heineke came into the Dome and beat us. The second one, we went to Washington and good old Mariota tries to throw a Russell Wilson type 1-yard touchdown. And then, of course, last year, we lost that game. That was embarrassing. He said, and beating a team we shouldn't win against Kansas City. I can go with that. I can go with those 3. Absolutely. I said, Pittsburgh has no offense, and Russell Wilson isn't the same quarterback as old. Not at all. Even though I wouldn't have mind having him here in front of Penix. With Kansas City, usually the first few games, you can sneak a win. out on them boys before they start getting the engine really rolling. They still coming off that championship high. I think that's one of the reasons why I'm glad they set the schedule like they did, because I agree with you. I think we can get them. We can absolutely get them. Folks, I'm getting ready to end on that note. If you're sitting here right now and you haven't liked the video, please do me a favor. Hit the like button on the video. I appreciate everyone joining us. Henry, I see you in there. He said the Chargers and Commanders are trap games. Now, the Chargers is not as much of a trap game, because I think the Chargers, with Herbert is one of the top 10 quarterbacks in the league. I think even without Keenan Allen, I still think having a good quarterback can really do some things. So I disagree with that. It's with the Chargers, the Commanders, I can see. Kirk Pandemic says Kirk has never lost to Washington. Yeah, Jabri, but here's the thing. You got a quarterback, though. If you have a quarterback, okay, I'm going to give you a good one. And I'm not trying to tell you Mahomes is in the league of Herbert. Who were the wide receivers last year for Kansas City? And I'm not saying name them. Were they really good wide receivers? MVS is okay. Rice was nice, but he was still a rookie. I still don't think he's top 10. They did not have, aside of Kelsey, and it's an older Kelsey, they did not have a top-notch wide receiver. But if you have a QB, I'm telling you, you got a QB, you can do anything. You really can. Man never said, by the way, it's all about the you, baby. Right? So, again, I was getting ready to jump up out of here again. Y'all, I love having this good talk, but I got to roll up out of here. Thank you for everyone joining in. I appreciate all of y'all joining us as usual. Folks, it's here. It's time. Time for us to get this thing started, get the football juices rolling. I'll be here, Uncle Steve's Lounge, definitely on Sunday every day. We'll get back into the Monday minutia once the season starts. We'll do that every night, probably 6 o'clock on Mondays. Once the season gets rolling. Appreciate everyone joining us again. Hit the like button for your Unc if you haven't already. Thank you so much. Everyone have a great Sunday. Stay dry, and we'll catch y'all here next week in Uncle Steve's Lounge.